We are just struggling overall. We don't have the pace.
Clearly lack pace, and we clearly lack confidence in the car and overall pace, to be honest.
Ferrari knew that the British Grand Prix is going to be difficult, given the fact that Carlos Sainz, one of their very own and 2022 winner here, termed Silverstone as the king of high speeds. But more than the fact that they exposed themselves not just in the high speed stuff in terms of performance, but also the fact that they reverted back to their old specifications of wings and floors that were used prior to Barcelona last month, just shows how big of a bouncing problem Ferrari is going through in 2024. Carlos Sainz finished 7th in the qualifying, nearly half a second behind George Russell's pole, and Charles Leclerc, he could not even make it into Q3. In the race, Sainz finished 5th, and for Leclerc, it was an even bigger disaster than the qualifying itself. Now, according to Sainz, not everything was maximized for the qualifying itself. Now, whatever he says, the truth is that Ferrari were pretty much 4th best in almost everything at Silverstone this weekend. One important fact to note at this point is that while Charles Leclerc was on the newer specifications of floors and wings brought down by Ferrari in the latest upgrades, Carlos Sainz was still using the old and tested ones. Turns out, neither of them were able to fetch much out of the car in terms of performance, with Sainz being marginally better than Leclerc, maybe due to his specifications being more concrete and stable. Leclerc believed that the understanding that they got out of using the two different setups in two different drivers helped them to tackle the problem that the car suffered in terms of excessive bouncing at the high-speed corners. Ferrari tried to improve their performance for the Silverstone race. Leclerc's floor was stiffened to address the bouncing problem. This change aimed to eliminate the porpoising while keeping the increased downforce and reduced drag, which were both beneficial at lower speed corners. Now this seems to be working at slower speeds, this increased downforce and reduced drag, which are both advantageous. But the real challenge lies in keeping these benefits while also preventing the car from bouncing at higher speeds. Now retaining these benefits while at the same time completely being able to remove porpoising is easier said than done, and is something that Ferrari is heavily struggling with this season. Also, if you've watched the videos this far, then you're one of the few fans of Formula 1 who is actually interested in the nitty-gritties and the engineering details, and not just in the drive to survive spicy material and fiery fight between the drivers. So please subscribe to my channel, because I'm trying to make quality content, but unless you subscribe and like and share, I won't be able to go. And even if you don't like this video particularly, then also please subscribe, because I'm trying to improve my content every day and I will improve in the future. So please give me a chance and subscribe to my channel. With this, we continue with the video. But the big question to answer at this point is, what the hell has happened to Ferrari? Because it is definitely not the first time that things have gone down south for the men in red. Now obviously there can be different perspectives to every issue, but according to Gary Anderson, and I agree with him to a large extent, ever since their dominant victory at Monaco, Ferrari has struggled to keep the balance between the low and the high speeds. Ferrari seems to be over-concentrating and over-optimizing for low speed sections. This is prominently evident from their dominant victory at Monaco with double podium obviously, and Leclerc's impeccable driving that weekend. But when you over-engineer and over-optimize for low speed corners like they did in Monaco, you practically invite porpoising. In Ferrari's package in Barcelona, which was taken down at Silverstone, it included 7 major upgrades. Now we can ignore the circuit-specific rear wing and the halo fairing, which are basically not related to this problem, but other than that, it included major changes to the floor and the bodywork. In Ferrari's submission to FIA for Barcelona, it included newer floor body, engine cover and floor fences for better flow conditioning. Now when we talk about flow conditioning, it basically means controlling the flow of air around the car for better aerodynamic purposes. It can help in reduced drag, increased downforce, and in improving the overall cooling and ventilation of the car. Now to explain in easier terms why Ferrari is struggling at the middle of this season out of nowhere, and to summarize this entire video so that me and you can understand that what the hell is happening outside of these technical terms, then the fact is that Ferrari had made changes to their cars to increase the downforce under the floor. This increased downforce leads to a greater grip and stability at lower speed corners. This is actually a very good thing indeed, because it is the lower speed corners where a car spends a significant amount of its time during a lap, so improving performance here could lead to overall enhanced lifetimes, reducing the bottlenecks apparently. But having an increased downforce has its demerits as well. When in the higher speed sections the ride height is low, and managing the increased downforce becomes more and more challenging, and if not managed properly could lead to the car bouncing up and down which is classically termed as porpoising, something that Leclerc has been complaining about all through this season. This phenomenon of bouncing, which I termed as porpoising, can actually negatively impact the car's performance throughout the race and qualifying as well. The next upgrade package for the Tifosi army is expected to arrive in Hungary in 2 weeks' time for now, and we can only hope that the problem is solved by then. Although no official confirmations has yet been made, and we can only hope for the best for the men in red.